Every once in a while, I feel like it's important to remind myself why I watched movies in the first place. I just loved the sense of good storytelling. I felt like films were the best way to convey ideas, to relay information, to just overall entertain somebody. And film is really where I got into art in the first place. And I bring this up because I feel like the most important thing that we lose um, in the mixture of politics and social movements is that film is first and foremost an entertainment medium, and sometimes a film doesn't have to be a big important piece. It doesn't have to be something that can move mountains or change society. It just has to be something that we can have a good time watching. For me, that's just a good way to describe Ford v Ferrari. It's not a particularly important film. It doesn't have anything big to say outside of your standard underdog story, which is kind of funny because this film is essentially the underdog of the Oscars this year. It has four nominations, one Best Picture, and the other three are technical. It's not really in a good spot to win Best Picture. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's a fun film. It's a great story, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, regardless of how the Academy might view it. The film centers around the 1966 24 Hours in Le Mans, which was a 24-hour long race held in France. That year, Ford was facing some major economic slumps, and they felt the best way to boost morale and to save the company was to race Ferrari at the 24 Hours in Le Mans race and beat them. In order to do so, they enlisted the help of automotive designer Carroll Shelby and driver Ken Miles. And together they were able to come up with a car that was fast enough and durable enough to last the 24 hours. While people seem to get tired of these feel-good underdog stories because they're very predictable and we kind of get an idea of where they're going, there's a reason why they work. People love these kind of films, and I'm one of them. I mean, I'm one of the biggest fans of Rocky, of The Karate Kid, of The Miracle, of The Mighty Ducks. Films like this work because it's a thing that we can all get behind. We can all see ourselves in this role, and of all the messages you can put out there, this is a harmless enough message, and it's a message that still rings true today. I will always be one to promote movies that focus on the entertainment value of what film is supposed to be instead of becoming too pretentious. Not to say that there aren't films that are socially important, politically important, and they have their place, but I think we forget that a film needs to be fun. It just has to be fun, and sometimes that's all that really a film needs to be. It doesn't have to have everything else. Entertainment comes first and everything else is secondary. In terms of the nominations it received, which were all sound based nominations, the film definitely earned those nominations. The sound of the engines and the editing and the mixing involved makes you feel like you're really there, like you're right on the track, like you're in that car. It's the type of thing that makes the atmosphere of the film so powerful, and it just nails home the tone that they're looking for with these films. If I were to find any flaws with the film, I guess in a sense it is a forgettable film. It's not something that's going to stand out 20 years from now, or even like maybe a year from now. It's going to be one of those films that falls into the backdrop because it was just something to pad out the Best Picture nominees list. Again, I don't think it's a bad film for that, but it doesn't necessarily take any major leaps that would make it something that stands out from a crowd. But regardless, there's an audience for this film, and it's a film that deserves to be watched. It's definitely an entertaining piece. I highly recommend it if you just want to have something to make you feel good, if you just want to sit down and just have a good time with your family, friends, whatever. It's a good film to watch. Ford v Ferrari. I liked it. I think you will too.